Toyota Vets. Morales Cash.
It is powered by World Sports Betting at iDiskiTimes.co.za. It's 0-0 Kaizer Chiefs, Polokwane City. It's the worst thing you ever get to do when you have to preside over a 0-0 game. So, okay. Udlalile unozinti weKaizer Chiefs. Itumeleng Khune nyanzelwa ngabalandeli. Kucaseka into bakawuqhawe kunobathana. Kusiliwa bekhwaza igama lakhe. Ndabona ke into benoba mhlawumbe umyalezo uthunyelwe ebhentshini noba ngowe WhatsApp noba ngowe hockey talk into ba hayibo nyengezani lo mjito niyababa abantu bazawulwaba. Iqala leKaizer Chiefs liyela nesibhengezo lesichazayo ndana bekufana bake bebiza abalandeli bayike namhlanje siqhwabela izandla uItumeleng Khune namanyaka engamashumi 25 25 years edlala kwiqela leKaizer Chiefs, one of the finest, one of the greatest ever to have ever donned the jersey of Kaizer Chiefs. Unfortunately for him, I already selected my hero as Neil Tovey and Brian Baloyi, and I cannot have any other heroes beyond that, but I'm sure for the younger generation, he is and continues to be the hero. Machaka, you saw the scenes there, Itumeleng Khune's last game. By the way, who's your hero? Like your childhood hero, and did you change? For me, it was Neil Tovey, captain of two of my clubs when I was growing up, two of my teams, the national team and my club when I was growing up, and Brian Baloyi as well was so flamboyant, so he remains my hero. So you can't change. And then when Jabu came in, I was like, okay, my next hero. That's it. You can't choose too many heroes. Who was your hero when you were growing up?
It's too many looks indeed. You know, I think I was blessed and privileged to watch a lot of players.
And you saw them live?
So I mean, players like our Chief Lucas Khadebe.
Yeah.
Our Howard Freeze.
He was a god in defense.
DK, Dr. Kumalo, V, and even Shoes when they came to play for Kaizer Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
So there's a lot. I mean, I can't just say.
So it's abnormal. I'm trying to get to the point. It's abnormal when you have a 30 or 40 something. Happy birthday as well, Machaka.
Thanks very much.
I almost forgot that. Happy birthday. It's abnormal when you have someone who's over 30 and 40 having a hero as Umfundo Shabalala or Umaben. I think that's attention seeking. You can like the kid.
Absolutely.
You are allowed to like Aboratoma. Mofokeng. I talk about Mofokeng, because I love him. But he can't be my hero. I'm old now. I'm no longer 7 years old when I started following football, 5 years old, 9 years old. You know, you can't have these younger generation as heroes. Abu Shaba, they cannot be our heroes because it's like Zintang and Abu Shaba. By the time that they were playing, we already had our childhood heroes.
It will be tough for one now to choose the best players, my best players. So it's difficult. I mean, I've watched great players playing for Kaizer Chiefs. Unlike now, where you can choose. Now, these other supporters, I think they've got a chance to choose one or two players. But there's nothing that we are watching at the moment, and even the previously. So that time, looks 11 players from Kaizer Chiefs. Max, Shakes, Makareka, and others. So Makapachara came from Paris, came to Chiefs, and did very well. There's a lot of players that Frank Maku and others. So I'm sorry to say that, my brother, I can't choose, my friend. You know, the players that I've watched, all of them, they did very well. About the late Skarango Bears, may their soul rest in peace.
But he can't be a hero. By the time that you saw Skara, as great as he was for the short amount of time, you were already older. You had already. So the point I'm getting to is that we can't choose childhood heroes now. We're old.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this one, above Vilagazi, there will be heroes of younger kids.
Absolutely. Yes,
10-year-olds, 15-year-olds who are watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what do you make of that Khune's final appearance and the build-up as well? Did you think he was going to start from the beginning?
Yes, I was expecting Khune will start with with the game today because you said Khune is your last game. We are beating him farewell. What a great guy! What a great player! I think he's done well on the Bafana and also on the Kaizer Chiefs side of it. He reminds me, I think it was Telkom knockout where we went to the final between Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs and the penalty. Knockout stages where he saved a lot of penalties, especially.
Oh yes, I think I remember that.
And Loftus as well. Yeah. So it was Brian Baloyi on the other side, your favorite goalkeeper. It's Brian Baloyi, your hero, and Khune on the other side. So it was a very, very interesting game to watch by that time. And also to the 2009, before the 2010 World Cup, Confed, Rustenburg. I mean, against I think it's against Spain or something. He did very well in Kulux. So
Well, I remember in the Confederations Cup that
Yeah.
the goal that was scored by Danny Alves in the semi-final
Yeah.
was, I think it was scored against him. It was a free kick last minute.
Yeah, I understand.
But I do remember that also someone else who captured attention was Katle Khompela.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
I remember
I'm just saying-
these moments.
Yeah.
These moments in time for Itumeleng Khune, and
Absolutely.
even at the World Cup, as of the 2010 World Cup,
2010 World
that was
Cup,
supposed to be his tournament.
Yeah.
And until he got the red card in the second game,
Yeah.
and then I think Munib Joseph came in
Yeah, came in,
against Uruguay.
Uruguay, yes,
In
yeah.
fact, this is actually the reason why, for me, I kept on saying there must be a point where we no longer have to talk about Itumeleng Khune Chiefs, because if you think about 2010, that was 14 years ago.
Absolutely.
He's already over 35 or 30, 36 or 37.
Yeah.
It is now a chance for another young Khune. But the
Absolutely.
way you do that must be in a dignified manner.
Absolutely.
You don't just push people through the door, but
Yeah.
make it clear we're not going to renew. They said it in the last time, 12 months ago, it's the last contract. But it was in the fine print. It's like people didn't really notice that. But when they announced new contract, they said it's the last contract for him, right? Last 12-month extension or 2-year extension. Whenever they did that extension, you make it clear, he gets out of the door. What I don't like is the fact that, and I usually make this example that Itumeleng Khune, the World Cup, 2010, 2009, Confederations Cup, AFCON, every other AFCON and the qualifiers until Senzo Meyiwa actually wrestled that jersey from him, which was great for Senzo,
Yeah.
you know, because I never thought that Senzo was more talented than Khune, but he wrestled it,
Yeah.
but which is compliment to his hard working, that he became South Africa's number one just before he passed away,
yeah.
right? Now, all of those things for Itumeleng Khune were his opportunity, and he got them. And he became the most beloved player in South Africa. If you look at the votes on the Black Label Cup, he used to get the most votes more than any other player.
All the time leading the
And
polls,
even more than maybe 5 different players combined, he gets more votes.
Yeah.
That's when I started to notice he's actually very popular even on the ground. Besides just that he's a good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Now, he's already over 35. Why is it that next year we're going to talk about him? And in 2026 we're going to talk about him? That's when I was starting to think, what about succession? I don't think Bruce Fuma is good enough, but succession. Have a 21-year-old, just like Itumeleng Khune got his chances
Absolutely.
in the 2010 World Cup, 2009 Confederations Cup, and everything else. Have a succession proper. But then when you give him a farewell, give him a proper farewell. Don't wait for fans to shout at you to bring him in.
Yeah, absolutely. They missed the point then, Gulux, especially technical team, if it's them or if it is the management that are selecting starting 11. But I can tell you they made a big blunder today. They make a big mistake, especially not to put Khune in the first place. I mean, he was supposed to be there. I mean, you put Braz Vuma. I mean, Braz Vuma, what did he do? I mean, even last week, the game for last week, what did he do? So it's not like Vuma is more than Itumeleng Khune in terms of his ability and even confidence. So put Khune, start with him, let him bid farewell in a very good manner. So you could even see Khune. He was stressful. I can tell you. I can even.
Yeah, you can see his facial expression.
What can you do?
And he can't stand up and shout to Uti Bafetu Ningenzan. What did I do to you?
Yeah.
You know, he couldn't even do that because it's gonna be a news story and all of that. But you could see his facial expression. He was boiling.
I think the fans did very well there by shouting.
Yeah, well done. Well done to the fans.
Well done to the fans. Thanks very much. But to Khune, well done, my brother. You did very well. And wherever you're going, all the best. I think you will be a good acquisition in terms of training the up-and-coming young goalkeepers. I mean, he's got an experience. Why not? So,
do not think one more year, not at Chiefs. Not at Chiefs, definitely. Do not think 1 more year or 2 more years professional?
No. I think he might just put his loaves down. It's time for you, my brother. Take your time, relax, and get into the coaching of goalkeeper. Make sure that you remain at Kaizer Chiefs. Because, he has done well, man. 25 years. So it's not child's play. He did very well in Gulux. To me, I say, my brother, just relax. Take your time and enjoy your retirement.
Did you genuinely believe you had any realistic chance to win this game today? What's your feeling about this game in particular?
No, Gulux, first half we could even see. I mean, Polokwane City, they came with a plan, but the only problem for Polokwane City is that it was the final third. So they could have wrapped up the game in the first half, and also in the second half, they got more chances than Kaizer. Not even more chances, but great chances that they've missed there. I mean, against Braz Vuma. So it's them to blame themselves, especially Polokwane City. But on our side in Gulux, I mean, We've got Shabalala. I didn't even see Shabalala today.
Just give me a second, actually, as you're speaking.
Yeah.
I know your favorite thing is top 8. I want to see, because
No,
there's too many matches that we're playing today. I want to see where do you stand.
I'm just saying.
I was going to ask you, do you still have hope?
No, I mean, you should also have hope. Because remember, we are still number 8. We only on the level with Polokwane City.
It's a 3-way tie with
Yes.
Amazulu,
Yes.
Polokwane City.
Absolutely.
And Golden Arrows is 1 point away from you. So the top 8 spot looks hanging in the balance. And who are you playing in the last game? Let me just...
It's against Spurs.
Cape Town Spurs.
Cape Town Spurs.
So that's you can get a draw at least from this. On any other time, because Cape Town Spurs is already relegated, I would say it's a winnable game. But given that it's you, you might just make it difficult. And if you get a draw and someone else behind you wins, so you cannot actually be anything other than number 8, actually, because Cape Town City has 42 points. They are, 6 points ahead of you. So you can't be anything. What do you think about that?
Yeah, what a stressful year, what a stressful season for Makosi. Now we must talk about top 8. Again and again.
And it's not secure.
And not, absolutely. We are going to see in the last games, how other teams play, because it's, I think, from number 14 or so up until number 8.
Yes, it's Amazulu, it's yourself, it's Polokwane City and Golden Arrows. There's 4 different teams, and maybe if I looked further, there might have been one more team.
So everybody's got a chance to be in the top 8.
Yeah.
So, we play at Polokwane City FNB Stadium, but you could even see, the structure there. There's no structure in Guluks there in the middle of the park. You've got Stebe, you've got Castillo, and even Shabalala. Why Shabalala was not visible today? It's because of the players that he was surrounded by. Because you could even see, once he's got the ball, there's no one that is opening a space for him. So all the time, Chiefs players, they don't open themselves. They don't even make a plan for other players to open a space for themselves. So it was always going to be tough. Debris, he got injured, but
that's a tough one.
Yeah, tough one as well. I think he will recover very, very, very soon. So Saile, same thing, my brother. Still playing wide, putting the crosses for who? Chivaviro today was nowhere to be found. So I think today we didn't come to the party.
Something to forget about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even the Togo there, he was injured, all the injuries all the time, my brother. Simango, at least we got stability there at the back because of him. But Guinika, why run on the far left while we are playing at the right back? So
he never did that at Stellenbosch.
No, I'm just saying, but
when he was playing for Stellenbosch, he never did that. That's strange. If you make comparison, because
you can't.
Remember, he's your academy product, development product, and then he goes to, I think, Bidvest, and then he goes to Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
There's a point I'm making here. When he played at Stellenbosch, there's a point where he plays at a centre back, and then he plays as a right back at some point, and then Dino van Rooyen develops, and then Kwenika becomes a centre back with Abo Ellen Robertson, Abo Robin Johannes. All I'm saying is that when he was at Stellenbosch, he never did that. So sometimes it's going to environment or a lack of proper coaching.
Absolutely. There's no leadership once again, as I've talked about it last time. That's what Guluks. Even you can even see in the second half. I think the introduction of Villagazi and Jansen, at least towards the end of the game, we saw something different from what you saw in the first half and in the second, early in the second half. I think they brought something that I was just hoping that we might get a goal, because we could even see the touches and the stuff. But other than that, my brother, before they introduced Villagazi and Jansen, there was nothing that you could even talk about, because there was nothing. There was no ball sharing amongst the players. Right. There was no leadership at all. But that's what I'm saying, Guluksi. But I'll say 0-0, yes, I will take it. Because we're supposed to lose the game today.
Thank you very much, Sharks. Orlando Pirates and Stellenbosch are still in contention for the second place. Stellenbosch lost to Mamelodi Sundowns. At the same time, Orlando Pirates conspired to snatch defeat on the jaws of victory. They were on the verge of getting that top 2 spot. And somehow they've just conspired. If you look at today's game, the last game, I think they lost the last game. They lost to Richards Bay, if that was the last game. They lost those kind of games. So you would have expected them against TS Galaxy, against Richards Bay, that they would get something. And it's not the first time that Sead Ramovic beats Pirates, actually, for TS Galaxy. So yeah, it remains interesting. Next week, we'll probably keep an eye on Pirates. I don't know. It will be a miracle. You might just be the only person looking at Chiefs next week. It will be chock-a-block. Everyone will be looking at one game each. iDiskiTV, Diski Times was sporting. Thank you for watching.